The subculture of the military brat is one that permeates populations across the world. The definition of the word brat is typically thought of as a negative, but in this context, its meaning reverts back to its original intention, a child. Because the United States boasts the third largest military population in the world, it also boasts a large population of military brats, who are children with parents in the military. Studying military brats is notoriously difficult for a number of factors, but as a subculture, military brats are a group that successfully communicates and relates with its own members, making them truly feel as though being a part of a military group is the same as being a part of a special culture, not one that's chosen, but one they're born into. As mentioned earlier, military brats are a group that is difficult to study. According to Patricia Sheets, the first reason military brats are so difficult to study is that they're hard to identify. Until the age of 18, children of military individuals are kept on register. Past that, however, the children are in the wind, so there's no official registry of military brats who may have aged out, so to speak. Because of this, they can only be found for study, usually by self-identification, according to Kelsey Schertz. The other reason for that is the broadness of definition of a military brat. Again, as previously stated, a military brat is technically any child whose parents or parents are in the military. As a child of a United States Army major, I myself technically qualify as a military brat under that definition. However, when most people think of the term military brat, they think of a more specific definition, that of a child of a military personnel who is deployed overseas or whose primary career is in the military. That includes children who may live on or have been raised on a military base, both in-country and or overseas. That includes children whose parents may serve multiple tours abroad. That definition, being a lot more narrow, shrinks the population of a military brat, but is more definitive of its members, according to Craig Morrow. For example, as the child of a military parent, it was a part of my life, but because my parent was not solely employed in the military, it was not necessarily the defining part of my life. Military brats who fit this more specific definition are more likely to have had their developments or childhoods interrupted by military proceedings, whether that be constantly moving around or having interactions limited by the country they're residing in, according to an article by Jessica Ans. Going forward in this presentation, when I mention military brats, I mean the definition of a child who's defined by their parents' full-time military career. Going from that definition, military brats often feel as if their childhood and developmental periods are not complete, coming from a variety of factors. Military brats often report feeling isolated or disconnected from other children their age, and cannot relate to their peers in a normal way. This disconnection can come from their parental relationship, when the parent is deployed or absent for long periods of time, according to Jenny Hanna. Military parents who are not specifically deployed still often move locations, so military brats cannot form lasting connections or friendships because they're often on the move. Military brats then internalize these feelings, reporting large feelings of loneliness and isolation no matter their age, and that becomes something they carry with them for the rest of their lives, according to Aaron Garrity. When military brats find other military brats out in the world, the instant connections that are seen form the backbone of the subculture. Having similar experiences of development or similar relationships with their parents and parental absences forges connection. Again, this becomes a community where children are born into it, so it is accepting of all who face the struggle, according to an article by Cynthia Geppert. Unfortunately, because of the constant moving, the communities are constantly changing in their makeup, but their populations are easy to find on any military base. Because of their close connection to each other, military brats often face the same struggles together. Mental health becomes a major factor because of the aforementioned isolation and difficulty in finding connections outside of others based around the military, according to an article by Jamal Downey. Drug and alcohol dependency are high in military brats, especially teens who turn to vices as a coping mechanism. Attitude behaviors are often difficult for military brats who may have trouble dealing with authority figures, again from those who have been living with absent parental figures, according to an article by Andres and Mulker. There's also a lot of family turnover with military brats who have deployed parents. The children are moving often from family members or friends, then back to their parents when they return, creating lots of turnover, which has led to many court cases accusing deployed parents of being absent or negligent, creating hardships for the children and the families as each attempt to navigate what being a military family and military brat means, according to an article by Lauren Douglas. Returning to civilian life is difficult both for those who have been deployed and those military brats whose parents may be leaving the service or finding new careers. They have essentially been going through something similar, but military brats have little to help them adjust back to a normal life where they're not moving around or have a parental figure constantly present, according to Amy Christine Gromek. Programs helping military brats have been created, but overall the military brat is a unique subculture found worldwide. The similarities are there from country to country, with the constant connection being children dealing with their parents' careers, which doesn't change much from culture to culture. As a result, military brats have created their own.